You have reached the SnailTrail4x4 Podcast voicemail. If you want to leave some feedback about Toyotas, have questions about Toyotas, maybe poke some fun at Toyotas, or let us know how your JL came with a Starbucks membership, then leave it all on the line, and we'll get to it on the podcast. Keep crawling.
The number you have called has been disconnected.
Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Snail Mail.
Hola.
Hola, ¿qué pasó, señorito?
Necesito más cervezas, por favor.
Sí, muchas más cervezas.
And now we have exceeded the limits of Tyler's Spanish.
I know what that was.
Yep.
Yeah, I took 3 years of Spanish in high school.
Yeah, I took 2.
I was asleep pretty much the whole third year because that was summer school.
Nice.
I didn't do well early in the mornings in summer in high school. So kind of like now.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. So we got voicemails for you guys where you guys call in, leave us your feedback, and then we get to listen to it and react and reply live. Kind of live. I mean, like we haven't rehearsed these or gone over them before we play them. So what we say, what we do, our reactions here are genuine for the first time listening to your voicemails.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You can always phone in and be a part of this episode or these segments at area code 916-345-4744. And you can call us and tell us about something that's going on in your neck of the woods. You can use this as a promotion.
Yeah.
Which nobody ever does.
Nobody's done yet.
Nobody's really done. But
I'm gonna call in for more Flate.
For more Flate and Air Hub.
Yeah.
Sounds good. We could do that for sure.
Yeah.
You can call in and talk about problems that you're having with your rig, and we might be able to help you figure out them and solve them, like with Zack over in Oklahoma.
Yep.
Just needed added water. That's like I said.
Yep. I wish my system was that easy.
You should just add water.
Add water to it. Yeah.
Actually add coolant.
I know, right?
That will help. I
was talking with the MFers this morning about it, and I think it was Ben. He goes, are you using coolant? I was like, dude, are you asking if I'm putting coolant in my system? No, I just run it dry. I didn't know you need to put anything in there. That's crazy.
Well, you could run it with water.
Yeah, but I don't. I use a 50-50 mix.
Okay.
Pre-diluted 50-50 universal mix.
Yeah.
And so that's and the cooling system seems. Anyways, we've talked about this I think in yesterday's episode. So
yes.
We get to hear from you guys now, and we get to talk with you guys. So the first one on the docket is Senor Gladiator.
Oh.
On 29.
Gladiator on 29s. Nick's calling in. Awesome.
See what Nick's got to say here.
Hey, Jimmy and Tyler. It's the Gladiator on 29. I'm listening to podcast 502. I'm probably about halfway through it about, whether or not you should pick up a daily driver and which rig should you have for your type of wheeling. And honestly, this conversation hits home for me because feeling a little lost in my off-roading journey. I had 4 rigs. Now we're down to 3. And I just don't really know what I want anymore in terms of off-roading. I love the hardcore rock crawling stuff. I kind of see myself in a buggy, but I don't really want to deal with a trailer or a tow rig. And the Gladiator, while it's so capable, it's still too nice for me to do, the crazy hard stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not ready to destroy it yet. So kind of torn on that. Plus it has a house on the back. So part of me is just like, maybe I take the house off and I bop the bed, and then it's pretty dang capable. And then, I got the 80, and I'm really attached to the 80, but, it's also kind of just, I feel like I've hit the limit on capability of the 80. But I love wheeling it. I like that I don't have to care about the body. And then I still like the overlanding stuff. So I love my Tacoma. I love going fast in the desert. It does that to perfection. But honestly, managing 3 vehicles is kind of stressful. So I'm kind of torn on what I should do. Part of me wants to just sell the Jeep and sell the 80 and then turn the Taco into a crazy linked bypass, solid axle swapped truck that can do overlanding and rock crawling, and I just don't have to care about what it is, or maybe just start with a fresh build. But whatever I do, it has to go to the Hall of the Family. So looking for any advice you guys have. You guys kind of know my rigs. And yeah, would love to hear from you guys. Or maybe this is a campfire discussion for later this summer. Look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, he has a unique situation. I mean, unique. He's got
His is unique because he already has a bunch of vehicles.
Exactly. Right.
It's not just a genuine like, hey, I want, or like I have one rig and I want to do more things and I have a family.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I think the family is an aspect because his entire family loves outdoors and loves off-roading. But he also, like he said, he has 4 rigs. He didn't talk about, he does have a daily driver.
Yeah.
So he has a daily driver plus 3 off-road vehicles.
Yes.
So it's really like, what should he do?
Yeah. I personally feel like the 80 and the Gladiator serve the same purpose.
Okay.
And then the Tacoma is the one that's different. The Tacoma is going to it's a little bit more comfy to ride in with IFS on long distances. He has it set up really well to go ripping through the desert, go fast stuff, and for living out of kind of a longer term overlanding style.
Sure.
I think the Gladiator is set up really well to overland out of. I don't think the 80 would be as conducive for living out of the way it's set up right now. I think he would need to change up some more stuff about the 80. But the shitty thing about that is that you end up changing the 80. I think the 80 is a great platform, but like building it out the way that you would need to have it be comparable to the Gladiator in terms of capabilities of long-term car camping, off-roading, is going to have to change the 80 from being an 80 a lot.
Right.
I think the 80s are a phenomenal platform for, not a whole lot of passengers, long-term camping, or a lot of passengers, short-term camping.
Sure.
I think that the Gladiator, just because having the bed and he's got the GFC on it, it's more conducive for long-term, lots of people camping.
Sure.
Kind of thing.
So what's the Tacoma?
The Tacoma is more, I think it's a similar platform to the Gladiator, but it's going to do a lot better in Go Fast Desert stuff.
Sure.
I don't want to say I don't trust solid axles for Go Fast Desert stuff. It's just that the IFS is more comfortable.
Yeah.
For Go Fast Desert
right.
stuff.
And that's, now that you're saying it, that's really aligning sort of what I was thinking in my head, was that he has 3 of the exact same rigs.
Kind of.
All 3 of his rigs serve the exact same purpose. Some are a little bit more built than the other ones. Like you don't want to take the Tacoma on the Rubicon, right? It could do it.
It could do it.
It would be able to, but it's not built for it.
Yeah.
Right? And you're not going to take the Gladiator high speeds in the desert.
Yeah.
But it could do it.
Yes.
It's just not built for it.
True.
And the Land Cruiser is sort of an in between both of those.
Yeah.
It would be able to do both of those things well. Better than the other one could do. The Land Cruiser could drive the Rubicon better than the Tacoma, and the Land Cruiser could wheel in the desert better than the Gladiator.
Yeah.
And so the Gladiator's sort of in between.
Yeah.
So in a way, he has 3 rigs that do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any differences in them. That now, if you want to pull those apart and start specializing them in sort of areas, then that's an option, right? Make the Tacoma your overland Go Fast Desert, right? Make the Land Cruiser maybe the rock crawler, and then make the Gladiator just an advanced trail rig overland vehicle. Those are just some quick thoughts.
Yeah.
In a way, though, 3 rigs that all kind of do the same thing. It's what do you want to do?
Yeah.
If you're afraid of taking the Gladiator on hard rock crawling trails because you don't want to hurt it, then what is the point of the Gladiator?
Yep.
You have this we always joke that it's on 29s, but it's literally on 40s. And it has king suspension and anti-rock sway bars and a
Ultimate Dana 60s.
Ultimate Dana 60s underneath it. And it has a GFC tent on it, or a GFC canopy.
And it's in very good condition.
It's in extremely good
body
condition.
is beautiful. I mean, the whole rig is absolutely gorgeous, immaculate. It's $100,000 vehicle.
Yeah. I say sell it.
That was what I was going to get to.
That's
yep.
And if you don't want to wheel it, and it's a great vehicle, it's a good platform, but you're not going to do anything with it, you're going to have more fun with that money in the Land Cruiser and building that up to be your camping rock crawling rig, and then putting some of the money into the Tacoma, having that be your fast desert rig that is also an overland rig. Those two separations are going to be good, and you're going to use that money from the Gladiator that you're afraid to wheel, and you're okay to wheel the Gladiator or the Land Cruiser. That's my thought. Or sell it and buy a buggy.
That's where I was going to go to, but he doesn't want to deal with trail logistics. So
because he needs. He'll also need a truck and a trailer, and he already has 4 vehicles, and he doesn't have space for probably the 4 vehicles because I think he stores. I don't know if he stores one elsewhere, but I thought he had to hide one away.
Yeah, so I think that if it were you and me, we would sell the Gladiator, get the money out of the Gladiator, and use it to build the Tacoma for Go Fast Desert stuff, and the 80 for rock crawling.
Yes.
But like he mentioned, I think that knowing Nick, he is very attached to the 80. It's a very special vehicle to him. And it's in great condition too. I don't know if he would want to take the 80 and have it be like a buggy style play vehicle.
I agree. I don't think he would either, but I don't think he would be. He even said in the message, like he's not as afraid to hurt that body.
Yeah. So I think that knowing Nick, I think you're going to be happier selling the Gladiator. It's a nice vehicle. It really is. And it would suck to lose it, but at the same time, you're not really using it. I mean, you're using it, but you're not really using it to its potential and what it could be doing. And so I would say sell it. I think it's more valuable having the cash that you can then buy a vehicle that you're not afraid to beat up. Because I know Nick, he likes his stuff to stay good, right? The stuff that is good, he wants it to stay good. He's okay with beating up the Tacoma because he's beat up the Tacoma so much. But I don't think you should build the Tacoma into a crazy linked solid axle vehicle. I think you should keep the Tacoma, maybe build it better for more aggressive high-speed desert stuff because I know he enjoys that. But I think you should get a different vehicle that you're not afraid to just destroy the body panels on for rock crawling, and doing the hard stuff and playing around in Sand Hollow and Johnson Valley with. The question just comes down to which vehicle does he get, because he needs to be able to take the family with it still. And I really like your idea of building a 4-door first-gen Tundra.
Yes.
For him.
I like that.
I think that if it were me, knowing Nick, you'd be really happy selling the Gladiator, putting that money into splitting it up between the 80 and the Tacoma, improving those platforms, but then building a 4-door first-gen Tacoma as a rock crawler. Yeah. That would be my go-to plan for him.
Yeah, it's not bad. I was thinking when you were talking there about maybe you can pull stuff off of the Gladiator.
Yeah, pull the axles off.
Pull the axles off and buy some factory 44s. And put it back on. Pull the 40s off and add some 37s on. And tame it down. You wouldn't sell it for as much, but you're going to also pull out some of the good parts that you might be able to use, and put them under the 80 or, use them for the next build or something. Yeah. But I think that you've got, in my opinion, you have 3 rigs that do 3 of the exact same things. Some things better than others, but all things could do the same thing.
Yeah.
So there needs to be somewhat of a separation, which for me, it's like I have my Tacoma. It's very moderately built. It does great on fire roads and long trips and overlanding. But if I'm going to take that on anything harder than like Strawberry, I probably wouldn't even take, well, I could do Strawberry now that I have sliders.
Yeah.
But if I was going to take it on a trail harder than Strawberry, I'm going to take Bobcat.
Yeah.
Like there's no point in me beating up that rig anymore.
Yeah.
I'm almost hesitant to go to 35s on that truck because I'm like, well, I'm now just moving that vehicle more and more into the point of Bobcat's realm.
Yeah.
And why do that when I can just take Bobcat out and have fun as well? So, yeah, I think you kind of need to figure out what vehicle you want to keep, if you want to keep all three, or what direction you want to take those vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And then really start making them different from each other.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Cool. Next, thanks for calling in, Nick. Let's see what else.
And I foresee that one actually being a campfire discussion, but with him around the campfire at camp somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Next one. Another Nick.
Oh, okay.
Nick from Montana. Let's see what he's got to say.
What's up, fellas? This is Nick from Montana. Talking about the daily driver versus wheeler versus whatever. My daily driver is also my search and rescue command truck / lightweight overland rig. Tahoe on 35s goes pretty much anywhere you need it to go. And then the wheeler, and I haven't figured out a tow rig. So it might switch over to a Dodge Power Wagon, or an older, 6'7" Ford. And then I'd buy an electric car because my commute's 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep crawling. First, short time listener, one time caller, whatever. Don't wheel with Jimmy. And remember Mojito. Later.
That Nick. Yes, long live Mojito.
Nice.
Mojito is a kid I went to college with that passed away at Hollister Hills in the motorcycle area. And so I didn't know it at the time, but this gentleman, Nick, knew him down in the Monterey area as well, but then he moved out of state to Montana.
Gotcha.
And we found each other somehow. I don't know. Yeah, I forgot what the connection was, but he found me on Facebook and was like, hey, how are you friends with Mojito? So, and we figured all that out.
Nice.
Yeah, I think, 1.5 miles, man, jump on a bicycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or walk once in a while or get some exercise. But an electric car, electric scooter or something when the days are nice, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. My concern with electric is I'm not sure where he's at in Montana, but I know it gets cold in Montana.
Yeah.
In the wintertime. Electric vehicles.
All of Montana gets cold in the wintertime.
Electric vehicles can have a lot of troubles in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
So in extreme cold temperatures. So be aware of that.
Electric hybrid.
Yeah.
Style.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thank you for doing search and rescue.
Yes.
I don't know if you were meant you're on a search and rescue team or if you just kind of play a search and rescue in your spare time. Either way, thank you for doing that. I think that search and rescue is a very important thing. I wish I had more time to do it more.
Yeah, me too. I think it'd be fun. He is on search and rescue.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, I'm not sure if there was really a question.
It sounded like he wanted to sort of turn his Tahoe into a more off-road rig, and then he was going to have to get another tow rig to pull that thing around.
Yeah.
And then get the commuter car because he doesn't want to drive the tow rig. But once again, man, if the commute for you is only 1.5 miles, driving your tow rig back and forth isn't going to be that big of a deal. It's not, your gas mileage is going to suck, but you're going to have to do it 100 times before you fill up your gas tank.
Yes. So. I have a 50-gallon gas tank in the 350.
Yeah.
My commute to the warehouse, and granted, I'm not coming to the warehouse every day anymore, but even when I would only fill the truck once a month.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I burned through a quarter tank just driving down here to record.
Yeah, right.
So... Yeah, for that instance, I don't know if you need an electric vehicle or another vehicle. I think you could use your tow rig as your commuter because you don't have very far to go. Granted, that's saying that, it's just working back, and I know you probably need to go into town or go on other trips or do other things, and then maybe you have to figure out what to do. But I think that at some point in everybody's life, you're going to think about not driving your off-road rig. every day, and you're gonna have to figure out what's next. What else do you want to drive?
Yep.
So yeah, thanks
I
for
agree.
calling in, Nick.
Good stuff. Let's see. Next one is Zack from Oklahoma.
Sweet.
It's a long one, no transcription available, so no clue what's going on. Let's see what he's got.
Hey, Zach.
What's up? Good morning, y'all. Zack from Oklahoma. I just listened to the episode about getting the daily driver, and I have some input. I would say I fall into the category of maybe not having the best funds to get a second vehicle right now. But if I were to get one, I'd probably get a K-truck from Japan. Use that for a parts runner while my truck is in the shop for whatever reason. But with the eventual goal to turn it into eventually I want to turn the K-truck into a rock crawler, but like still be able to drive it around and stuff. But as of right now, when I do have to put my truck into the shop for any reason, I just use my mountain bike to get to work. Now I only live like 10 miles or so from work. So it's doable. I can do it. Within an hour, I can get to my place to work in an hour on my mountain bike. I know not everybody is fit enough to ride their bike like that to work. I luckily am. And then also on top of that, sometimes it's hot outside in Oklahoma, and it's not that fun to ride in 90-degree weather. I've just done mountain bike trails in 90-degree weather, and I feel it. I was like, this is a bad idea, but I still did it anyways. But yeah, but also at some point I want to get all these other cars, and those will probably be eventually my second cars. I just want to go through those, like a Subaru WRX. At some point I want to get a GR Yaris, import that, but I gotta wait till it hits 25 years in order to get that one. But anyways, I use my truck for everything at this point. It's my daily driver. It's the vehicle that I go off-roading in, do all my road trips and stuff, but I also want to like try to rack up as many miles as possible in it. My goal is at least 500,000 before something bad happens to it. But I would hope to get over 1.6 million miles, which is actually the highest mile on a Tacoma, or at least for a second-gen Tacoma. Or at least recorded. I'm sure there's plenty of other Tacomas that's gone over that, and no one said anything about it. But yeah, no, I want to try to keep this truck as long as possible. Keep it going and stuff. But anyways, I'm on the way to work. Y'all have a good day and keep crawling.
1.6 million miles on a second-gen Tacoma? Jesus.
That's the most that's recorded.
Yeah, I know. That's
so that
crazy.
one's probably still going, though, Zach. So you're going to have to go even more than that.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And I just want to state that he's probably driving to work right now, not riding his bike.
Yeah.
Because he was able to call. When he said that, I looked up my old commute, because I used to ride about once a week to work. And it was 17 miles.
Jeez.
That I would ride there, 17 miles there, and 17 miles back.
Wow.
Once a week.
Would you be all sweaty when you get to work?
Yeah, but they had showers.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they had showers there. And then I'd ride home and there'd be showers there, so I'd rinse off.
Nice.
But yeah, that was fun, and that was a good workout. I think it was funny he wants to get a K-Truck. Those seems to be like super popular right now. I don't know why.
But they're so goofy looking.
Yeah, I guess. But then he wants to build it into a rock crawler, and then he's going to need another daily driver and or a tow rig or something for that. But yeah, I think I never thought that would touch so many people, that topic, but it's kind of fun to have it happen and hear what you guys think about it for sure. So I think that, I definitely at one point fell into the category of not having enough money to have a second vehicle and having a daily driver. But I think that, like I said, kind of in the last time, that it's going to hit everybody at some point that, I've overbuilt this rig for the road.
Yeah.
And now I need a vehicle that I can drive on a daily.
Yep. what do we do from there?
What's the next step?
Yep. Cool. Let's see. We got the next one. It's a Jimmy.
Sweet.
It's a
Welcome,
terrible name.
Jimmy.
More feedback about the same topic. So let's see what we got, what Jimmy does here.
Hey guys, this is Jimmy as well. First time caller, long time listener. So I'm calling in regards to episode 502, and I'm super happy that you guys have talked about it, because there's not really much out there that has discussed whether, for those who are, I guess, budgeting in a lifestyle, can really do much to their vehicle. So I have two vehicles. One's a third-gen 4Runner, and I'm planning to make that a Rocklander. As of right now, it's in more of the camping mode, so just simplified trails and whatnot. But I do want to, and you, Tyler, you got to discuss it in that episode, where that vehicle is only capable so much, where I kind of back out on hard trails. But the solid axle swap is the one that's going to push me to go a little further more. I will say the third gen 4Runner is my daily. This vehicle, we don't have the luxury of, being able to buy a RCLT. Otherwise, I would. But, I do want to, I still want to drive it around once I'm done with the solid axle swap, My other vehicle is a first gen Rad4, and I bought that vehicle because my girlfriend was like, hey, once you drive, or once you do the swap, I don't want you to, to get the death wobble. And, I honestly, I don't know if there's any forums on, Toyota's solid axle swaps getting death wobbles. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Is that a thing? I've never driven a solid axle swap vehicle, so I wouldn't know. But I would like to hear from you guys. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Cool. First off, build the Rad4. That's my call.
Build a Rad4.
Dude, the Rad4. That's still one of my favorite builds that I've ever seen somebody do.
Sure.
Dirt Every Day, they did the Rad4 with the engine in the passenger seat to make it four-wheel drive.
Sideways, to use the transaxle as a front and rear drive shafts. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I think definitely Toyotas get death wobble. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of setting it up correctly and making sure that it's done right, and that will help prevent it for the most part. I think that there's always gremlins in every build that happens that you just need to work out the kinks and figure it out. I don't really, when I did my solid axle swap, I don't recall having any issues immediately, or for the most part. All my vibrations I get are from the drive shafts are bent, or a tire is not balanced correctly, and just small things like that you can take care of. But it wasn't in regards to doing a solid axle swap. There are some tricks to it, so learn or do some studying and learn. I think it's been so long since I did mine. I think you do kind of turn the fronts. Don't quote me on this. I'm trying to remember if it's what I did. You kind of you make the fronts the leaf springs like eyes ever so slightly closer together, and then the rears are slightly farther together so that they're not perfectly parallel. I might be completely off on that. I'm really stretching my memory to try to remember when I did my my SAS, but I would just say do your research, figure it out, make sure you understand what's going on, follow the instructions of the kit of whatever you use, or just link it, because there's a lot less problems when you do linking.
Yeah, I agree. I want to say first off that, even IFS systems can get death wobble.
Sure.
Typically, death wobble is a loose steering component, worn out or loose steering component. You can get bad alignment on leaf springs with your SAS for sure.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't get those straight, then it can cause some issues if you don't correct the perch on the axle as well. But for the most part, death wobble ends up being caused by loose steering components. A lot of Jeeps that end up with death wobble, they are, and I just say that because they're a solid axled vehicle and because they get used and abused so much that people typically are not good at maintaining their steering components, and that's when you get death wobble in Jeeps. And a lot of those happen on linked systems, suspensions. So as long as the nice thing about Toyota front axles, mini truck axles in the front, is that a lot of these steering components use cone washers.
Mm-hmm.
And cone washers do an amazing job at keeping everything tight. And so they're a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah, they are. I was just going to say.
They suck to deal with, but they keep everything nice and tight. And I think that's one of the major reasons why you don't see death wobble as much in Toyota solid axles. But as long as you're good at understanding all of the components that go into either your suspension or your steering and know how to test and see if they're loose when you start getting death wobble, it's not that big of a problem to try and diagnostic and figure out.
Yeah.
Usually just shaking the correct components.
Sure.
Under the correct circumstances, we'll be able to figure out where your death wobble is coming from.
Right.
So I don't think death wobble should be a concern for you. If you're mechanically inclined and looking at doing the solid axle swap yourself, you probably have the skills to diagnostic a death wobble.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah, and I will say, to somewhat kudos for actually considering getting a daily driver before you go in under the knife.
Yeah, right.
I know quite a few people that are like, I'm going to do this solid axle swap in a weekend, and then Monday rolls around and they have no way to get to work.
They're mountain biking.
Yeah, they're mountain biking right next to Zack.
Yep.
But I think that you've already set yourself up in a good spot because if you do have death wobble, now you're going to have time to do the diagnostics required to figure out what's going on, and you don't have to be too stressed about getting that done ASAP.
Yeah.
So
Yep,
kudos to you.
Cool stuff, man. Should we do another one? We're at 30 minutes.
Can you preview and see if it's in regards to daily drivers?
503 is the next one from Lance, Not the Company.
All right, let's call it there then.
Right.
If you enjoyed this episode and you had some fun, feel free to go over to iTunes. Leave us a review. We are always doing a giveaway there. We should have 650 reviews coming up soon where we're giving away an Onyx Off-Road Elite membership. Right here is where I was pointing. And then at 700, we're doing another one. And then at 750, we're giving away a set of Yokohama tires. So go leave a review on Apple Podcast and be entered for one of these giveaways coming up.
Sweet. I like it a lot. And I guess with that, we'll see you guys next week for Snail Mail on Fridays. Peace.
The number you have called has been disconnected.